So once again, Amazon have completely screwed me over at a moment's notice, and I'm absolutely bloody livid. Hey there, it's Tom the English Picker here. I want to do this video because something's cracked off again with Amazon. Now, you'd think, if you follow my channel for a bit of time, you'd think I'd learn. You'd almost like a person who's sort of been bullied or that sort of thing. I'd know better, but unfortunately, despite listing on eBay more so, I've gone back to Amazon, and I've recently, for a long time, been selling merchant fulfilled, where you post the items out, much like eBay, on there. But I've gone back to doing FBA, so fulfilled by Amazon, and that's where you send them items and they post it out for you. So I'd got a pile of particularly new DVDs, which I'd put to one side, which I was going to sell to a market trader. But I decided to send them into FBA because they were sort of like low value but quick turnaround. And it's been going all right, actually. So I've got back into FBA. So I was like, great, I can get rid of this stuff, send it in, blah, blah, blah. So I've been sorting through the backlog, and it's been going. I've been making boxes up, and tonight I've been making boxes up of stuff that I bought ages ago, and I've got like quantity of some of the titles. I thought, great, they can sell for £5.99 free postage. I'll make a £1.50 to £2 on each order. But they'll go out, they'll help build feedback, blah, blah, blah. So I've filled some boxes up, which I was like, great. And I checked the prices. This was yesterday. I checked the prices. I checked on my phone. It was all good. Went to list them tonight, and it was just after midnight. And I've been restricted for selling anything made by Universal and Universal Studios. I had this last year. I'm not sure when, but probably I'll have to look. Probably about the same time. I've had it in the past with Microsoft, Penguin Books. Randomly now, I don't know what's caused this. I don't know whether another seller has reported me or customers complained. I've not really had many returns, and it's all legitimate new and sealed stuff. But the problem is, the only way of getting unrestricted is you've got to provide them a wholesale invoice from the last 180 days. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I'm not really buying stuff at the moment, so let alone wholesale. So getting a wholesale invoice, and from past experience, I tried to get unrestricted in Microsoft a few years ago, and I spent hundreds of pounds to get a proper invoice from a Microsoft authorized dealer. They provided me with an invoice, absolutely everything, ticked all the boxes, and they still refused it. They said the reason why they refused it is because it had to be a brick and mortar store that didn't have an online selling presence. So it had to be a wholesaler, or it basically didn't, because they also sold on via their own website. It was just a bullshit excuse. Moving the fence post. Basically, these restrictions come in to benefit the big boys and to benefit Amazon. And for some reason, my account just always picks up these. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take the items out of the box and store them for 6 months and hope that, because what happened last time is I got restricted in Universal and in there was another, like a Warner Brothers, that was it. So it was like so much stuff was restricted, and this is even to sell it used. So I couldn't, I mean, this stuff's new, but I couldn't even sell it used. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and it's a bit scary because, like, I know people who are into wholesale who buy it from sources which their invoices, even if they've got invoices, wouldn't suffice, and may have dropped $1 to $2 grand on several pallets of mixed new stuff. And they could be absolutely shafted by just overnight by, I'm assuming, a decision made by an algorithm or maybe. And the thing is about some of this stuff is these are DVDs that for titles that are no longer released, and they're not going to affect Universal in any way. Now, whether Universal thinks so, you're doing counterfeits, but uh, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I just think it's another way that Amazon are completely dicking over their small business sellers. And okay, you're going to say, look, you can sell it on eBay, but the problem is that on eBay, one, it's less money for these particular types. I mean, it's not worth it with the postage. It's just not worth it at all. Two, the whole point was doing the FBA is for them to post it out, and it kind of frees up my time for listing some of the backlog as well. So yeah, it's pissed me off more than it really should have. I'm not surprised. It's almost like a person, like when I was younger, had a girlfriend who was unfaithful, and then you forgave them, and it was all fine, and then they did it again. I mean, not that didn't necessarily happen to me, but that's just an analogy that like you fool me once, shame on you. You fool me twice, shame on me, kind of situation. But it's been so long since I was restricted the first time. I'd not forgotten about it, but I assumed that I was okay. So yeah, it's looking like I'm putting some of this stuff back on the shelf and paying storage fees to store it. Unless I can find somebody who's not restricted in it to sell it for, a nominal amount. It's just a pain because it was stuff that had a good sales rank that would have sold quickly to get to customers. And the problem is there's on some of the listings there isn't even a prime seller on there, so um buyers aren't even getting that option. And also another thing with the restrictions is with some titles they don't even let you send it to fulfilled by Amazon. They just say we've got too much of this product already, and they might not even have a prime seller. It's just some weird bullshit thing, or they'll do that if Amazon themselves are on the listing, and they don't want the competition. So between that and then them also saying if you go on a listing where there's no one on there, say, or there's no new offers available, and you put a price that you based upon your research. I had it with some like board game thing before. There was no one on the listing. There hadn't been anyone on the listing for a long time. So I looked on I can't remember, it was Keeper or Camel, and looked on eBay, looked at the price. I put a price that it was selling at before it was listed at. And my listing got pulled down because of unfair pricing policies. So it was like, say I got it listed for 40 quid, and I adjusted it all the way down to 20 quid, and they still wouldn't have that was a fair price. And that particular price was for almost close to what it was selling for used on eBay. They just wouldn't have it that price. So the customers are suffering because I can't list it. I can't list it on there. It won't let me because it keeps getting pulled down because they reckon I'm pricing it too high. So it just makes no fucking sense. Excuse my language, but I'm absolutely sick to death of it. I really genuinely am. That and the increase in people saying that things haven't arrived when you can go on the Royal Mail website and see that it's arrived. I think yeah, I'm just I'm getting battered from every angle. So yeah, back on the shelf and back to slow listings on eBay, I think. So Amazon, you need to do better. This is piss poor. If anyone knows a way of sort of getting through these sort of ungating processes, or I know there are ungating specialists, but you still got to get around this issue of an invoice. and you've got to have at least, it's like a dated invoice with your name, your full address, so many stipulations. You've got to order three different things with at least 50 units of each one. So yeah, it just seems crazy. And then they will contact your supplier probably to find out where they get it from. And I think half of this is that it's a sneaky way of Amazon finding out where you're getting stock from, under the guise that is it authentic, but I think it's for them to cut you out, because I think part of me thinks that, is it for some people, if it's a good selling product, Amazon want to source it themselves to sell it themselves. Um, it's weird. It's really, really weird. So yeah, let me know your experiences in the comment section below, any Amazon sellers, whether you get this weird restrictions. But the weird thing is, though, that if I'd have already got it listed, say merchant fulfilled, I'm pretty sure that I could change the quantity. So it's just for the, if you've sold out, or if you wanted to create a new listing, you can't. But if you've already got one listed, I think it stays up there. And I think you can change the quantity, but that might not be true. But I know that luckily, if you don't get retrospectively, your items get pulled. I think they do if it's like a copyright issue, but this doesn't seem that way. So the stuff that I've already sent to FBA that is universal branded should still stay up there. Hopefully. So yeah. I mean, also the rules about it is, I've had it before when this came in before, that you'd scan something that was made by a different production house, not Universal, and it'll say, "Oh, this is Universal," and it's not. It's made by 20th Century Fox or something, and there's nothing you can do about it. You contact customer services, and they do not give a monkeys. They have no power to. They just don't care. So yeah, looks like I'm having a couple of shelves of DVDs until hopefully, touch wood, before Christmas, and I can sell them then. So unless I can think of a creative way of liquidating them. So yeah. Anyway, that's my experience. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of video, drop me a subscribe and smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.